Hey, hey, what's good, guys? Welcome to Sit Down and Shut Up with Juzzy. It's me, Juzzy. All right, cool. Hope you're all doing well tonight. So tonight we have Obi-Wan, who's going to be running Dee Jay, I think. Let me just look at their thing here. Hey, Jason, yeah, thanks. We'll do what we can. All right, so Obi-Wan is a 1500 MR DJ, work on patient opponents, I guess, neutral and spacing options and decisions in key moments, and they tend to drop combos. So let's bring them on and give them a chat with them. Hey, Obi-Wan, can you hear me?
Yeah. How's
Cool.
it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Sweet, man. All right, cool. So I was looking at the note you put for for the message or whatever, and I'm guessing besides the neutral and spacing options and some decision making, and then combo drops, which we all kind of struggle with. You'd mentioned working on patient opponents. So does that mean like when someone is being patient, you're having a problem, or is it like something
Yeah,
else?
I guess so that was what I originally put a couple of weeks ago, and I guess there's like a couple sides to that. One is like the people who just like never press, never fall for anything. They're
Hmm.
just they're not necessarily turtling, but they're very patient. They're basically just waiting for you to give some obvious mess up that they're ready to punish, and they're very good at not being opened up by anything else.
Okay. Okay.
And then the other is just like kind of with that is just people who are very good at checking your offense and with punishing in general.
Okay.
So
Okay. So it sounds like if the opponent doesn't go first, right, and they kind of wait for you to do something, it gets a little tough, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, so it kind of depends. Like if they're doing that and I'm playing DJ, there's plenty of ways, to get in,
Hmm.
including drive rush. But, if that isn't working, and I'm basically forced to play footsies, um, working on that. To be fair to myself, I've gotten a lot better at it,
Hmm.
but, still, um,
Okay.
people who are more experienced, I feel a little bit outmatched in that department.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Uh, cool. So what we'll do is then we'll run a first of three, and
Okay.
then we'll do a little replay review, and then probably a little lab work after if there's some situation that we want to pay attention to or want to look at in particular, and then run the first three
Okay.
after. So pretty standard format. Everything. I'm pretty sure you've seen this before, so we're gonna do that. So go ahead and queue up in one of the slots. I'll queue up as well, and We'll get to it. So what I'll say is that, and I say this to everybody, is that I'm gonna deafen during our match, our set, so that I don't influence anything you do, because I'm like talking while we're playing, and then I may not rematch right away. So don't worry, I'm here. It's just I'm kind of articulating things or whatever, or trying to write stuff down or whatever the case may be, so there's something to talk about. So
Okay, I'm gonna take my headphones off while we play. So if you do
sure.
need to get my attention, just ping me on Discord and
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put them back on.
Once we're done with the set, I'll undeafen, and then you'll probably see it. So you can just once the set's done,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Well,
jump right
I'll
back
I'll
on.
know when we're done. So
Yeah, yeah. All right,
it
all right,
just mean
cool,
while we're playing.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. All right, man.
Okay,
Good luck.
cool. All right, thanks.
All right. So it should be deafened in Discord. Yep. All right, cool. All right. Hopefully the mic is better now, guys. I don't know. There was something up with that. I turned it off and turned it back on, and hopefully it sounds better now. All right. So I played Obi-Wan a good amount actually. In lobby nights and stuff. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, that was nice. Ooh. Oh, that was nice. Okay. So a little scrambly toward the end there, but I think the corner pressure was probably what it did them in. Ultimately, they had to make a couple of decisions. Whoa. Okay. Seems like they're pressing a lot, like, and then getting clipped by the crouching medium kick. Ooh. Oh, nice way. So I think the way I'm kind of winning there is that I'm pressing when they seem to be wanting to move, or I'm just kind of overwhelming and moving just like into their face, right? So let's see if we can dial that in a little more. Oh, nice parry. Oh, that was nice. Oh, crap. Oh well. Oh, that's a nice way. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's a good reversal. Oh, we're gonna drive rush. Oh. Okay, so that time I think it was part of it was just burnout, trying to defend in burnout. So I'm trying to think like where they might be messing up, and I'm guessing it's really just kind of some neutral decisions. I mean, the corner, you know, Ken offense is Ken offense. Like right there, they're backing up as I'm like mashing crouching medium kick. But their reversal timing's been good so. Oh, that was nice. Oh, nope. Oh, that was nice. Should be dead here, right? Oh, pretty close. Oh, that was nice. I got impatient that time. So I guess if I get aggressive here... See, the reversal timing is like super good. I don't know why. Oh. Oh my gosh. That sucks. Oh, I should just held it. Oh, they could have killed me, right? Oh, that was sick. Man, that was sick. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's not like they're playing poorly or anything. I just think that there's a couple of situations where maybe they're not winning in neutral, like the spacing maybe could be better. Okay. So I think they might be getting a little reversal happy there. A lot of the defensive decision making there ended up being trying to get out of the corner. I think a safe jump might have been much. Oh. Yeah, they're pressing a lot, and after that, the kick. Like that counter hit there, right? Okay. So it's kind of hard for me right now to pinpoint exactly how, like, what specific mistakes they're making, other than a couple of I mean, there are issues in neutral, I think, pressing on some of their minus situation, like they're pressing a button into another button on like block for me, and that's causing them to get counter hit a lot when I like mash couch medium kick. But maybe we'll figure out more once we get into the replay. Hey, so how'd that go? What do you think?
Some parts better than others.
Okay.
I felt like I was cornered a lot,
Yeah.
and I was trying to be patient. I think I had some good moments actually in the corner when I was cornered.
You did, and then
There
you
were
were able
there
to
were
get out a couple of times and kill me, like the game 3 or whatever it was. You were able to get me, like you were able to keep me get out of the corner and then just kill me with get me back in the corner, and then kill me from there, right? So
Yeah. Oh, and then the funny thing was I was talking about like being patient and whiff punishing, and then game one, round one, I think the first thing that happened was you whiffed something and I whiff punished it. But
yeah,
anyway, but yeah, um,
yeah,
yeah, there were
yeah,
a couple times where I caught myself. I was walking back to,
mm-hmm.
um, and once when you were waking up in the corner, and I immediately regretted it. I think you did a crouching medium kick into a back throw, and then a couple times even mid screen. I have to remember to not do that, especially against Ken. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a tough one. Pause for a second because Satora just gifted a bunch of subs. Thanks, Satora. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's the thing about playing neutral sometimes. I think that a lot of people will just kind of press their button or two, right? Because DJ doesn't have a lot of plus buttons, if I'm not mistaken, right? At least in neutral, like the ones you want to be pressing in neutral. So like,
well, yes and no. His medium punch is plus, but it's kind of stubby.
mm-hmm,
His forward medium kick is plus, but it's got great range, but it's super slow.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's it for buttons.
Okay,
But
but
most of his stuff is safe though.
yeah, I mean, if you space it correctly, right? Even though it's
Well,
not necessarily
even
cancelable.
notwithstanding, like his stand medium kick is -2, crouching heavy punch is -2,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you
crouching
mean.
medium
Yeah,
punch
yeah. I
minus
mean,
two. Yeah,
obviously, like not a lot of like 4 frame or 5 frame punchable stuff, right? So, but
right.
what tends
Yeah.
to happen though, I think, and this is kind of where I was getting you, was that once something happens, whether you block or it's like you do something and I block it, or I do something to you and you block it, a big tendency of people is to just try to back up, right? So when you're stuck in that kind of uncomfortable space next to each other, something that people will do is they'll back up, right? And I think you'll see
Yeah.
me do this to you a bunch during the set, is that I'll wait a little bit, or I'll even mash it sometimes, but I will try to crouch medium kick you and try to time it to when you want to try to back up, right? And I think that's if I'm pretty sure you noticed it where it was like, oh man, I was doing a button or something, and then all of a sudden I'm in the corner because I got tagged by crouching medium kick, right? So I think it's just a neutral thing, and we can take a look and see why that seems to be occurring for you, and then go from there. So this is game 1. I should be streaming in Discord right now, so let me know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, I called it up. I can see it.
Cool. All right. So we'll just go through it here. This is game 1. So we'll just go through it. All right. There's the whiff punish. Right.
Yeah.
So good combo there, right? All right, and then you go for a throw. Looks like.
Yeah. That was where.
Right.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about.
Yeah. So like the wake up crouch.
That when I
medium
was
kick for
trying
me,
to
right?
shimmy you, I forgot who I was playing.
Yeah. Yeah, right here, right? I mean, you block it to your credit, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I just kind of drive rush and back throw, right? So, like, in my head here, like, my decision is basically it's on block. Most people will just, like, continue blocking here or maybe delay tech. So I just went for a throw because it's fairly safe, right? I didn't think you had charge at that point. Although you probably could
Oh, I
have if you're
definitely did.
holding. So, because you're backing up, right? So
Oh
you
no, I
brought a charge
didn't.
by then,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Let's see. At least in my head, this is what I was thinking, right? You're backing up right here, but you probably could have held charge by then, right? Oh, you would have had charge for sure.
Yeah, 21, 31. Yeah, I definitely had
It definitely had
charge.
charge, right? So, you know, you could have reversaled here, and that would have been a good decision, I think, if you're ready and did that, right? But I went for a back throw to try to put you in the corner, so that's working
Hmm.
out for me. And then here, I think, is where you were kind of struggling what to do. Went for a jump, and then I went for a bad fireball here and gets clipped. So that was good. Yeah, so right here, right? So normally on block, okay, I see. So normally on block here, right? This is a 6 frame, plus 6, right, or -6 for you, right? So +6 for me, but I'm pressing a 7 frame button, right? So like, it looks like you're pressing light kick from there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is actually.
Okay, because you press this, right, and this is kind of close too, right? Like that's really close. So you press that, right? And then I immediately crouch and medium kick you here because even
Right.
though, you know, I'm -6 here, I'm not 100% sure a crouching medium punch will reach. It probably will.
Oh, I was going for a sway. That happened a few times
Okay.
where I went for a sway and you've got the 7 frame
Yeah.
crouch medium and it
It clips you
I
on
mean
your
even
startup.
if it was 8 frames, I might not have beat it, but
Okay.
anyway.
Okay. So, you know, that's where I was kind of getting you, right? Was that on it was a lot of button, and then when I would go for a crouching medium kick, it would counter hit in some capacity, right? So
Hmm.
I didn't realize that you were going for sway here, then that was interrupting that. But either way, right? It's too close for that to. It might be too close for that, right? If you had spaced this,
Right,
maybe,
yeah.
right, the crouching medium kick might whiff, and then you're able to get a punish counter on the sway like low or the sway overhead or whatever it is,
Yeah,
whatever
I
that needs
think
to
if,
be.
if it's space, you're right, it works
Yeah,
better. If
works
he's
better.
like -3 in
Yeah,
close-ish, it can work too, but -6 is I
yeah,
shouldn't be doing that.
yeah. That might be a bit something that's happening. It could be. I don't know if it's happening in this game, but it was definitely or in general, but it was definitely happening in this game. So like I saw you going for that, and then I was crouching medium kick because I'm like, oh, I'm -6 or I'm +6, and what you know, it'll at least allow me to get some space back. It happens to hit here,
Mhm.
and I just cancel a Jin right, get some space this way. So right there, right. So here's another
Mhm.
example of the walk back, right? So you're blocked here, you're +5, so I'm -5 here, right? It's technically your turn, although I don't know if anything from Dee Jay out of 5 frame may not reach here.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah. So then if you see like,
It's
yeah. So there's a pause right here, like we're not doing anything. So I wait a little
mhm.
bit, and then I press, right? And then happens to tag you as you start walking back, right? Like that
What? Yeah,
frame,
1 frame.
1 frame, right? So
Yeah.
whether that's luck or whatever you want to call it, but like the sense I'm getting was that when you were in this situation was you wanted to back up, right? You wanted to
Yeah.
create a little space for yourself. So I'm just trying to time this to when you're gonna back up. It happened to be 1 frame, but you were gonna hold back for longer than 1 frame probably, right? So if I
Right.
was off
Yeah.
by a little
Yeah.
bit, it probably still would have tagged you. So then you get hit by that, right? Now you're in the corner again. So this TP was actually pretty sick. I don't know if it was if you're just trying to blow through my whatever button I was pressing, but like I whiff, it just hits me. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. That was just like a timing anticipation thing.
Yeah,
It's just like I know you're not going to press immediately,
yeah,
but it's kind of a rhythm thing.
yeah, and that was a good
It's
read.
very risky.
Yeah,
So
but it was a good read, right?
obviously,
Yeah, so it worked out. But yeah, I mean, I was like, oh crap, okay, what happened here? But yeah, I mean, if I'm being a little passive there, or like you get a sense of when I want to press, I think it's it's a fine read to make, right? Yeah. So here I think a lot of it was just me getting a sense of when you wanted to press or when you wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
something. Because even here, right, like I'm recovering, right, and there's nothing happening here, and then we both go for crouching medium kicks, right, and
Yeah.
mine just happens to come out sooner. So again, I don't know if it's just I think it's just a rhythm thing in neutral. Like I had a little bit of a sense of what you wanted to do when, and I was just kind of taking advantage of that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to adjust, I think, to when you're getting hit like this because, like, you're trying to read my rhythm too, right? You're trying to get in a sense of when I like to press and all that. And I was just able to make a read on you where if we're crouching facing each other too close, you're kind of delaying your action, whether that be walking back, walking forward, or pressing a button. And if I try to time my crouching medium kick around that rhythm, it's taggy, right? This is like the third time
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to do it. So
Right.
if there's an adjustment to be made here, I think it's really just around like when you're pressing, or you can just block longer, right? Like if you just continue blocking there, and I press my crouching medium kick, I would just drive rush into, and I buffer behind it, obviously, right? I can't hit confirm that, but I would just drive rush into like a jab, and then you have to deal with a mix up, right? Like a strike three
Right.
mix, and that's a little bit
Yeah.
better than getting clipped, right? Like at least
Right.
you have a chance of
Well,
defending
it's a
that.
lot better.
Yeah. Okay. So corner decision here, right? Go for parry, which is fine, right? That look that I presented there usually ends up in a low, so parry's fine, I think. And then I'm just applying pressure here. Right, wake with button. And then that crouching medium kick gets stuffed. Right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to go for, so with DJ when you're doing like buttons to get out of the corner, obviously with like Ken or a lot of characters, you have like a low that you can cancel. Obviously DJ doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So your options are, if you have the time and space, use a crouching medium and then try and go for a mix up,
Mm-hmm.
or you can do crouching medium punch, which doesn't hit low,
Mm-hmm.
so it won't catch them backing up, but it does cancel. So
Yeah.
I think most of that match, if I was pressing something, it was probably crouching medium kick.
Okay. And you see it there get stuffed, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm +2 here. So what ends up happening is I block your crouching light kick, spaces out a little bit, right? And then I immediately press crouching medium punch, right? But I'm +2,
Hmm.
right? Since that move is not plus, right? So I press my crouching medium punch and it stuffs this, right? Now if I was better, I would have confirmed this into a drive rush or whatever, but I don't. And then get hit by your crouching medium kick, right, on the whiff.
Right.
And then I shown a reversal through you, right? So
Oh, I remember that
yeah, that
moment.
was just a read on my part, right? I kind of bet it all on
Yeah,
black,
yeah.
if you will, at that point. So it worked out for me. But I think your corner defense here, like the strategy you're employing, I think is okay, right? Because DJ doesn't have that low forward cancel like you're saying, right? So using buttons like this to create a little bit of space is correct, I think. At least it's the lowest risk way for you to try to get out of the corner, in my opinion, right? Like jumping is kind
Hmm.
of risky, reversal is kind of risky, right? But when you're in this position here, so after the Oki, right? Technically, we're playing neutral now, right? It's just that you don't have
Right.
space to work with, right? So trying to use your faster buttons to try to push me out I think is correct in that sense, right? If you can get a sense of what buttons I'm pressing when, because this pressure that I'm applying here, there's gaps, right? So right there's a gap, 4 frame, right? I mean, again,
Hmm.
it's hard to do this in the match, but like just to point it out, there's a gap there, and this is 0 now, right? So technically either one of us can press, and then I just continue pressing, right? Because you're kind of being passive, right? So some of it's just identification of like Ken's buttons. I mean, I'm sure you run like into a million Kens, so it could just be like some lab work on like this, or just trying things in match too, right? Hitting some
Hmm.
jabs and seeing where the gaps might be.
Yeah, one thing I go for is they buffed DJ's jabs target combo. It's light punch, medium kick, and that gives you like a +2 throw range kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to use that more on defense,
Okay.
but it doesn't have a ton of range. Um, So you kind of got to pick your spots, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because you actually, so if it was a different, if we had both had more life, right? So if you given all the same things situation here, except you had more life, you actually land a punish counter, sweep essentially, right? I get knocked down. You have a scenario you can set up for like an Oki situation if you wanted to take it here. Unfortunately, reversal here, but you were able to get out of the corner
Yeah.
essentially, right? Like if you had thrown and I did nothing and I was passive or whatever, right? But if you could have back through me or done some Oki setup or some setup here to get out of the corner. But the thing is, you won this neutral interaction, right? So you have an opportunity from there. So that's why I'm saying I think your corner defense application here was actually okay because you did have a chance to win here. It's just that I kind of went ham, right, and bet there, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, though, right? I think that was actually pretty good. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, and Halo, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. You guys are too generous. So anyway, going back to this. So, driver's jab, kind of whiffs there. It's okay though. You're able to block. No big deal. So again, I think you were trying to fireball. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, you're trying to press crouching heavy punch here? Is this a... What is this input?
Go forward like a frame or two. No.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to press
Yeah.
crouching heavy punch.
Yeah. I guess I was going for crouching heavy punch.
Okay. So I end up getting stuffed though, right? I would imagine DJ's crouching heavy punch is slower than 7 frames.
It's 8 frames.
Okay. So you get tagged. Wait, actually... we pressed at the same time? Oh, we did. Okay, so in that case, it was just pressing the faster button, right? Which I think I don't hate this decision actually, because this space, like the way it is right here, if I'm late on this, you're gonna win, right? Like on your crouching heavy punch, or your standing, standing heavy punch, right?
I think I was probably going for standing, but I flubbed it.
Yeah,
because you can see it go down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's not a good spot to press that button.
Yeah, I think if you're going for the 8 framer there, I think it's okay in that space. It's
Right,
just that
yeah.
against me, like Juzzy, the player who's constantly pressing buttons like that, you just kind of have to be ready to not press it necessarily. Like against another player that maybe isn't pressing the same way I'm doing it, or the rhythm is different, or they're more passive after like a 0 frame or they're minus, then you could probably press that and be okay, right? Because if you look at the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the stand heavy punch, if that's what your intention was, probably would have gone through, right? It probably would have hit me if I was a little more passive or late, right? So, okay, good fireball. Oh,
yeah. So that one I was going for. Well, I mean, I still got pressure, but I was going off the fireball for a heavy punch. Machine gun upper.
yeah,
you can convert that, but I went right under you.
Yeah, the pickup right here, right? You get the jungle. No big deal. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. So you press this. You're here +6 again. Pretty close. I don't actually press my crouching medium punch here though. I don't for whatever reason. Right, and then you actually beat me with the sway here, right? So I don't press right away, and then I press my stand heavy kick, and you beat me. The sway beats me here, right? So that was good. I think that's kind of what you were trying to do that first interaction, except you got clipped because you were a little too close. If I had done the same thing as last time and immediately pressed, I think it probably would have clipped you here too. So the fact that I didn't press and it worked out, that's good, I think. But like you were saying earlier, I think you may need to space that a little bit better for that sway to be consistent in beating the option from the opponent, right? So unfortunately, it dropped though.
Yeah, I was too early on the crouching medium punch, and so just the Sabat came out, and I think that happened again either later this game or the next sometime the next game. It was like the same thing. I was kicking myself, but
yeah, you got thrown out of it. Yeah, because normally there's a link in here, right?
Yeah, so he's +6 when he gets the punish counter, and so the crouching medium punch is, that lets you do almost anything.
Yeah. Okay. Again, no big deal. Well, I mean, that's just lab work, right? In terms of the drop combo. So not a
Right.
huge issue there. You get back thrown in the corner, which I was delay teching, right, so that's just what ends up happening. Even on hit, I guess I forced a habit in that situation. Probably not a good idea on my part, but it is what it is. So we go with a button here. I'm too far for this, so if I had walked up, maybe would be okay. So you go for a button. I don't whiff punish it. No big deal, right? So then now I kind of back off a little bit. I should actually be standing a little bit closer here to try to pressure you so that I can get your I can enter your jump. But I got the sense that you weren't quite sure what you wanted to do if I had given you this much space to work with, right? Like you would have almost preferred me to be standing here so you can jump or do something else. But if I gave you this much space, I felt like you weren't quite sure what to do. What do you think? Does that seem right, or
Um.
what were you thinking in this scenario right here?
I'm not sure that it was that. I don't know what. I think I was just kind of playing wait and see.
Okay.
For better or worse,
Okay.
like seeing if you drive rush or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, there.
Yeah, because you get out of it, right? So you see me, you
Yeah.
walk in and jump, right? Okay. So I was just curious what you were thinking there, because we were both kind of standing and waiting, and I wasn't sure if that was because you were, like you said, just waiting for me to do something,
Yeah.
or if there was
So
some
that's one of the
hesitancy.
things. Like, if I were like fully autopilot, I probably would just like drive rush jab or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's the kind of thing that's so expected right there that it's going to get stuffed. So
Yeah.
you can see I did a neutral jump. Like I was waiting for you to come in,
Mm-hmm.
and then the instant knee has a lot of active frames, so it can kind of catch you,
Yeah.
moving forward, doing stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
probably where it was at.
Yeah, and I think that like that situation worked out pretty well for you, right? I was trying to play around like a drive rush here because I think at that space, even old man me probably would be able to react to it with like a crouch medium punch or something
Hmm.
from there. But then this is actually what got me, right? Was I tried to poke you with a stand medium kick and it got jumped on, right? So it was good recognition on your part there. And then you're out of the corner ready, right? So like I don't think your corner defense is like bad necessarily, or you think the issues you think you're having there, I don't think you're having them. So
Hmm.
that's what I was thinking. I was on stream. Like I'm not quite sure when we're trying to pinpoint exactly why the games might not be going your way here. But I don't think corner defense is necessarily it. Part of it might just be because of like the way I run my offense might be being able to kind of stop what you're trying to do on defense. But let's look at more examples and let's see. Because you're able to get out of that, right? And you get a setup here. Get stuffed. Get stuffed again. Looks like you're trying to press crouching heavy punch or something. So it is what it is. I don't convert it. Let's see what you're pressing there. How does that counter hit you? Are you not that plus there? Oh. Let's see. Okay, so you're plus. Right.
Medium punch.
Yeah, so you're minus. So I'm -2 here.
So I went for a back heavy kick.
Okay, so it looks like there was a gap, right? Like you can see that if right here.
Yeah, I don't think I pressed it right away.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a gap, and I think that's what allowed me to press my button here. Because this
Yeah,
stuff's it, yeah.
so I should have been pressing light kick right there,
Mm-hmm.
which frame traps and it would link if the medium punch hit.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
I was just you press. I do a lot of drive rush, medium punch, back heavy kick, so it was probably just muscle memory or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm not like here I'm not respecting the plus frames, right? I actually press the 6-frame button into your plus frames here, and it actually hits you. So
Right.
it could just be if you're gonna do that setup or whatever, and you get it plus frames. It could be that you just need to enforce that with, like you said, like a stand light kick or something else that would frame trap, right? Because I just pressed and it worked out. So okay, so here driver's jab, and then I think you press the crouch and medium kick to try to get me walking back, right? Is that what happened? Oh, crouching heavy punch. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, so I'm not sure.
That was
Yeah,
that's not a good range to be using that.
it might be
Really,
too close. Yeah, might be too close. I think
it's
you can.
so.
Yeah.
So one thing about his crouching heavy punch has a lot of range, and it can. Sorry, not a lot of pushback.
Mm-hmm.
So it can kind of create space for yourself without having to walk back.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably just didn't think you were going to press right there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does hit, it was probably like one of those things where I thought I could time you up
Mm-hmm.
and you know get a counter hit or something.
Right, because I don't do anything with the plus range here, right? I kind of jab, and I'm kind of seeing if you're gonna attack or not, right? So I back off, right? Or you could reversal me too here, right? Like you're crouching, right? So I kind of do that to see if you're going to reversal or do something else. And then I back off, and then as I
Right.
back off, that's when you press, right? Or you press a little bit later than me here. Which it's hard to defend that because you don't know what I'm gonna do there, right? Like I could have went for throw, I could have
Right.
went for something else. I had plus frames, right? So waiting a little bit is probably okay. But yeah, I think pressing that in that situation on defense like that, maybe there's a better button, like a faster button to press there. Like I said,
Yeah. I
because
mean, yeah, crouching medium or just a jab even.
yeah, crouching medium punch probably would have been the right play there because that's your cancelable button too, right? So you'd be able to
Yeah.
stuff whatever I'm doing here. Or at the very least, if you press it right away as I'm shimmying, I'll have to block, right? It may not hit clip me low, but it'll stop my pressure, right? And then it's your turn now,
Right.
or at least not your turn, but like you stop me from doing what I'm doing, right? Even though I think you're minus like 1 or something after that, but anyway. So again, like I say this a lot, but like space, right, kind of should dictate those buttons. If you think you can get away with it though, like totally fine to press it there. But if the spacing is that tight, it's usually a little bit safer to press something faster.
Hmm.
So we get clips trying to press again on the crouching medium kick. Jinrai. Trade. And then you get jumped on. And then I don't finish the combo. But okay, so the jump at the end, I mean, maybe you weren't ready for it, but that's okay, right? That's just what it is. But honestly, like looking at the footage of this, and it's like there weren't really any major issues happening, right? There was just a couple of neutral interactions that didn't really go your way. You took a little bit more damage on defense, like in the corner, than I did. But like they were both pretty close games, right? It wasn't like it really could have went either way. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to see like exactly where we can kind of talk about more stuff, but it really just seems like there's some neutral interactions where I'm just winning them more often. And then most of your corner defense has been okay, right? So let's take a look at this one. Let's see. You get jumped, it's okay. Yeah, round start fireball is always kind of risky.
Yeah.
It does lose the run around the round start jump, but you know that's the risk you're taking, right? A good parry, but I think it was a
I,
jab though, right? So
yeah. I just started parrying a lot like within the last week.
okay,
So I don't have that fully dialed in. I probably should have gone for a back throw
yeah,
anyway, but
yeah. Back throw definitely is the safest play, if you will, especially if you're not sure, right? Like if it's like a big, like if you know for sure, like you parry like a stand heavy punch or something, you can use your crouching medium punch or stand medium punch or whatever to convert. But at this situation, like even if you did parry a big button, unless you have like a side switch combo that you can do kind of meterless, I would just back throw here.
mhm.
Because like the situation is instantly in your favor, right? You take away a bar from me, you back throw me, and that should it's a punish counter back throw, right? So you take take more off my drive. I'm in the corner now. Even though I have more life, it doesn't quite matter because you now have corner control, right? So
Right.
perfect parry in that situation. Back throws should probably be at the top of the list, unless you can kill me like with like a cash out of some kind. But it's tough because of that scaling, right? So
Right, yeah.
I dash one too many times. This is what I mean, though, right? Is that like I had you cornered, gave you a little space, and you're able to kind of fight your way out, right? You get
Yeah.
the fireball there, but good reversal, and then we're back in mid-screen, right? So it wasn't like you spent a significant amount of time in the corner. The only interaction you lost was the jump in, really, and then you're able to kind of fight your way out. So like that's why I mean, there's not really like I don't think there's like an issue for you in corner defense presently. Like you're able to kind of fight your way out. So
Okay, cool.
Good anti-air. With the fireball. Let's see what happened there. Oh, you're trying to go for an EX fireball?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay. So it just got grabbed then, I guess, huh? How it is?
Yeah, it was it yeah, it has like when it starts up, it has this it's actually like a projectile hurt box in
Mm-hmm.
front of him,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just too close
Oh, I see.
to
A little,
you were coming in too fast.
gotcha from the, yeah.
It wouldn't have worked there, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I mean, I don't know that, but if that does work for you in that situation, then yeah, I don't mind you going for
Oh
that.
no, it doesn't. It
Okay.
was just a bad decision.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So hold on one sec here. My microphone a little too high. But yeah, I mean, I think what ends up killing you this game though is at the burnout, right? So if we look at like this situation here, you've taken a little bit of damage, right? Not that much overall.
Right.
Like there's one interaction here, right? Right. You're able to knock me down a couple of times, get out of the corner, take the fireball. Right, so there's one kind of whiff punish that I didn't convert. That's an air, right? Yeah, so at this point right here, right?
That
Yeah, good.
I kept going for the knee, and I was like, I don't normally actually use the knee that much.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had gone for like a jumping medium kick on some of those, I feel like it would have traded, um, or come close at least.
Yeah, I think
Like the range was just off.
yeah, yeah, like a different jumping button maybe, yeah, or like
Yeah,
jumping with
because that one shortens the jump arc.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually like a short hop slightly.
Okay,
And anyway,
gotcha. So what I'll say here in my head, what was going on after that knockdown was that you had less than 2 bars. So I'm gonna drive rush you here because if you reversal, I don't actually care, right? So if you reversal me with like, because Dee Jay's level 1 isn't strike invulnerable, right? So you're not gonna use
right.
that. So your only reversal option here, if you're gonna do it, is gonna be your EXDP, right? So the and it'll burn you out if you do. So that's why I decided drive rush here because I'm trying to force you into a decision to either take drive or spend it here, right? And then I end up going for a throw instead, because again, like I don't actually mind if you try to, in my head I'm thinking this is gonna beat your wake up button if you try to do that, and if you DP me, I was gonna lose that anyway with the button, right? So I actually go for a throw. I guess I must have changed my mind in between because in my head I was thinking I should have drive rushed in and do that, but I guess I must have thrown instead for whatever reason. It ends up burning you out though, which is unfortunate. But the result would have been the same if you had EXDP'd instead, right? You would have been burned out. I might have taken some damage, but you would have been burned out, right? So,
Mhm.
so I guess I wasn't thinking about the full burnout or that, or changed my mind in between. I'm not quite sure. But like looking at that situation, like on the replay, that's what I would assume what I was thinking. But maybe maybe it wasn't that at all. Anyway, you get burned out here, and I think this is ultimately what causes you to maybe lose this game. So let's see. Anti-aired. And then I back throw you out of the corner. That's a mistake on my part. Should have been a not back throw. But
Oh,
yeah.
there's one game.
Nice. Oh,
That was
that's the second time. Yeah.
Yeah, the same conversion.
Yeah.
This round, I was trying to remember when it was, but this round, I just felt like I was flailing at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually managed to get some conversions. I don't think I could have killed off that one right there. I couldn't have. Maybe if you just, but
I think
anyway,
it would have been tougher because you didn't have meter to extend. I think. You
yeah,
would have gotten some
exactly, and
conversions.
just the
Yeah.
level one.
Yeah, not
Um,
enough damage on the table there. But I think though, like the way you played it at the end, I think that was fine. It was the combo drop that I took advantage of, right? I was like, delay teching through your combo, in case, I guess it's just a habit of mine, I guess, but it worked out for me there, right?
Yeah.
I could also be mashing EXDP, right? That's something that people do, is they'll mash DP during those types of strings to catch you in
Right.
case you drop it. So that's just lab work again. You just got to get through that, because like that round changes if you land that, right? Like if you land that and knock down in the corner,
Yeah.
and I have
Well,
to guess.
I probably would have gone into the heavy sabat, which would be like a strike throw,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd be close to the corner, not in the corner, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm. So like right there, right? That was pretty good. So you just went for the DP on the plus frames there. So I think that's totally fine. Although interestingly, I trying to shimmy here.
I think you were going for a
Oh, I
tick
was going for
throw,
a throw. Yeah. Okay. I tried to walk a
and
throw.
then
Yeah.
I tried to get cute right after and do the same thing back to you, but I was too far.
Yeah, a little bit, right? And then I recognized that and just went for crouching medium kick, right?
Yeah.
Because this space right here, right? Like, yeah, that's a little too far. It'd
Yeah,
take you.
it's
Yeah.
that's another. This is when I said neutral spacing,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like something that I'm recently aware of and trying to work on is so like with DJ's drive rush, I mean you can land hits from basically full screen
Mm-hmm.
with like crouching medium kick and even his slide, but it's like getting into a range where drive rush jab is more of a threat,
Mm-hmm.
because like from the range I just did it, yes, it like hit, but there's like nothing for me to do there except for maybe like a sway. Whereas if I had, I was trying to look at him go. I
Yeah.
was trying to get you on wake up, but if I had, come in closer and then tried it,
Mm-hmm.
after the jab, you have much better options to like tick throw, frame trap, all that kind of stuff if it's blocked.
Yeah, definitely. Like your advantage disappears the second you have to move, right? So like here you're +3, hit stop, right? And then there's your 3 frames. 1, 2, 3, right? And then now you have to move, right? And then that it erases your advantage, right? So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, you bring a good point. Is that if you had used the drive rush and then kind of slid a little bit longer, try to get closer before pressing the button, that might be what you need. I can't say I'm familiar with DJ, unfortunately, so I can't tell you exactly how to make that, or what range you need to be at to make that meaty. It could be one of those things where, like, from this situation here on the knockdown, like if you had just delayed the button, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah. So off his forward throw, I could actually do a dash drive rush into even in like a 7 frame will hit meaty.
Yeah, that's okay. I got you. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to see if that drive rush in that situation would work, and I don't think it would. Like, because GJ doesn't really slide at the end of his drive rush, right?
Not the way some characters do.
Yeah. So, okay. So maybe there's a different setup you can take there. It's okay. But in neutral wise though, like if you were to do that drive rush jab in neutral, I guess you just have to identify a closer space for for that
Well,
to go through.
yeah. If you do the dash drive rush, that'll still actually be plus.
Oh, is it? Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the wrong type of knockdown. Never mind.
Okay.
Ignore what I just said.
All right. Fair enough.
For some reason, I was thinking that it was off a throw.
Okay.
It's late.
And maybe that's different, right? But anyway, yeah. In this
it
situation here, going for the drive rush jab, a meaty. I don't mind it that much. It's just that you have to walk up if the jab lands that far away, right? And that's what I recognize, right? That's why I did my crouching medium kick there, right? So if you had tried to walk forward or walk back for whatever reason, this would have tagged you, right? Now, if you had done like another button here, like try to frame trap me, that would have worked, because I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought you were going for. I guessed throw or shimmy. I didn't guess strike, right? So that's why I went for the button there. So you could have frame trapped me here, right? I had not. And if you look at the games like I've been playing, I don't think I've been respecting a lot of your plus frames for most of the game, right? Because you weren't really frame trapping me in between,
Right.
Like, so because you weren't doing that, I felt emboldened, if you will, to go for some of these buttons on your plus frames, right? Because you're just moving in between.
Hmm.
So that could be some. I don't know. Do you normally go for frame traps on plus frames there, or is that just something you were doing this game, or?
Yeah, it's so I've labbed up some strings off of Drab, and I'll use them, but I always find myself drive rushing from that kind of too far range with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been trying to focus on playing. I mean, there it was an oak, I was far away and I was trying to get some kind of oki,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been trying to play from closer to where that's more of a threat off
Okay.
of the jab. You can still do some of that stuff with, um, like his medium punch has more reach,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can do that into certain things. But anyway,
Yeah, like from here. Okay. So I guess if I delay it. So if you go for that, right, or delay
yeah.
it in
Or
between.
what I'd usually go
Yeah,
for
that
if I
works.
wasn't going for the tick throw there is I'd go for crouch medium, um, in case you tried to like walk back, that kind of thing, or you just weren't blocking low.
Yeah, because it looks like crouching heavy punch and stand heavy punch both counter hit. So if you, is it 8 frame? This is 9 frame. Okay. So you'll have to, I guess you have to lab that a little bit more. I think you want to be 4 frame, like you want to beat a 4 frame typically, right? So
Yeah.
you have a
Well, there,
7 frame or a 6 frame move would be what you would do, which you said was crouching medium punch, I think, right, for you.
yeah, that's a 6 frame.
Yeah. So like the actual frame tight like move would be something like this, right? Right, and you can see there's no gap,
Hmm.
something like that, right? So, I mean, and it's something that I think if you are gonna get plus frames, you do need to enforce them every once in a while. You don't always have to go for a frame trap necessarily because you want to be able to mix that up. But I think if your opponent is consistently not respecting that option, then you should definitely tighten that up, right? Like get airtight with
Hmm.
those strings. Don't leave any gaps, or sorry, leave gaps. Don't leave larger than 4 frame gaps, right? Like tighten it up. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving on from there. All right, so I think you were pressing here. Let's see. Wake up jab. Okay. So you try to wake up jab here. Is that 4 frame for
Yeah.
Dee Jay? Okay.
Yeah, that's his 4 frame.
Okay. So I don't mind making the decision to challenge there, but obviously it's an Oki situation that Ken is doing the run overhead and it's a setup, right? So it's tough to press there. The if you think about it from like a what am I beating and what am I losing to perspective, right? Like Ken's coming in with an overhead, or in this case, actually, this is a high-low throw like mix, right? So he can go high, he can run stop into the low, like the crouching light kick, or he can throw you here, right? So if you jab, you're actually gonna lose to all three of those options, right?
Hmm.
The only thing you would potentially beat is if I go for like a delay button or a delay tech or some kind, like trying to bait you or reversal potentially. That's what it'd be. But Ken is supposed to be +5 in your face in that situation, right? So like
Okay.
trying to mash out of that is tough, right? It'd have to be a really hard read that I'm gonna shimmy, and you can't even really do that because at +5 Ken actually can't get a walk back shimmy, right? So if I try to walk back and you jab, you'll actually hit me out of that, right? So I don't typically choose that option, right? The other alternative
Hmm.
would be if Ken neutral jumps there, right? Your jab will come out and you potentially can DP me or anti me there. So maybe that's not a bad option. But again, you're losing to the majority of things that Ken can do from that situation, right? So when
Hmm.
you think about like defensive decision making, I know this is something you had brought up. Sometimes you have to, in like a situation like this, you'd have to consider what you'd be losing to and what you'd be beating on defense, right? Because if you delay tech against this, you're gonna beat pretty much every option, right? That comes out,
Hmm.
except for a neutral jump, right? Like if I neutral jump here kind of late, or sorry, not late, but like if I neutral jump here, um, you know, Ken's jump heavy punch has like a lower hitbox as it comes down, so it may beat you there. But you're going to be defending more options than you're losing to, right? But the thing is, the thing you lose to ends up dealing more damage. So it's kind of the weighing you have to do on defense, right? But most people typically will just kind of take the lower risk option, so like go for a delay tech or just block it out, right? Or react to the block. Parry can be okay. You were doing it more the first game and I think towards later games, but that can be an option too to think about if you only see me doing strike. But again, it's kind of like the wake up jab here loses to more things, right? So you may not want to choose that option.
I think pretty much whenever you see me do a wake up jab, it's like for whatever reason I thought the Oki looked fake or mistimed or something, and I'm often wrong about that.
Yeah. Well,
but I think
don't mind
that's
the
just where my
challenges.
thought process is.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was gonna say I don't mind the challenging, right? Like if you're not sure or it looks like you could jab it, try it, right? Like if it doesn't work, then or if it does work, then right? Like you'll know for sure at that point, right?
I think there was actually a moment in the set. I don't know if it was then or later, where I was like, "You got to stop doing that. His Oki setups are going to be like frame perfect.
They're gonna be real at least, right? Maybe not perfect, but at least it's like if you try to mash out, it's like so that's something I think like as you climb, you'll find more and more that those setups are gonna be real for the most part, right? Not a lot of folks are going for fake setups because they just get reversal or 4-frame jab, right? So testing it is okay though. If you're not sure, like test it and then you'll know for next time, right? Like if you get hit by that setup again. Or if there's a mix-up that comes out of that, or you can lab it later, right? At least you can try it, right? So anyway, moving on from there, you take the DP. Okay, let's do a stand heavy punch here, right? -2, and then what happens? Oh, you try to jump, right? This is a back jump.
Yeah, it looks right?
Okay. So if you're trying to jump, I don't mind that, but I think again this was like that slightly delay button timing, or the button timing itself just trying to clip you when you're moving, right? So it might just have to be something you're seeing in your gameplay or something I noticed in your gameplay rather, that like is kind of predictable when it comes to what happens after you block something. So I think again, like if you look at this game and the previous game we looked at, you can see that a lot of the hits that I'm landing anywhere, right, not just in a corner but in neutral as well, tend to happen after something is blocked, on either side. So. Okay, safe jump. A little late on the button there. So, were you gonna drive rush behind that? I'm just curious. Is that the intention there? Let's see. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I guess I didn't even look at my
Gotcha.
meter.
Yeah, because I reacted with a D-rev here. Right? Like expecting you to drive rush. I remember going, oh, I didn't realize he was going to burn out there either. So, maybe that's on me for not paying attention to that too. But like the decision here though, right? Like let's say you had meter for that. Right? So you would spend 3 bars for that to get in, right? So if you had meter, it would be EX Fireball, I'd block it or parry it, right? And then you would drive rush behind that to get a mix-up, right? So you'd probably go for a throw or maybe you go for strike, whatever. But the thing is, since I had enough meter to derev here, this puts you at like -1 bar, right? And in fact, a little bit more disadvantage because I parry the fireball, right? So I gain a little bit of meter back from DJ's multi-hit fireball, and then I derev for 2 bars, and it beats your 3 bar, the 3 bars you spent to get in, right? So using this option I think is fine. Trying to get in with an EX Fireball. I think that more and more players are starting to do like derev in response, right? Because like from this range here, my derev against this Fireball, if the drive rush went off, it would have beaten you, right? It would have knocked you back in the corner. And it would have been tough because, you would be, even if you had meter right enough, you would still, again, get a meter deficit in the corner. So a bit of an aggressive option. Again, I don't hate it necessarily. It's just, I think that if your opponent shows that they're willing to derev and spend bar against this, then you got to try to do something else for the approach, right? So this is just me trying to maintain burnout pressure without burning out myself, right? You try to jump there, I think is what that was. Pretty sure. Yeah, this is tough to defend, right? Like burn out in the corner.
Yeah.
The Ken's Jinraiing you. That's really difficult. Hit me with a
That
machine
was
gun upper.
I was going for a super and messed up my cancel. I landed a raw light machine gun upper instead of the super art,
Yeah.
and I could have canceled it if I had realized what was happening.
Yeah, because I
But
go
I
for
was
a
like,
throw
wait,
here.
what?
Right, yeah, I go for a throw here. I try to walk up and throw you, and like had you supered there, it would have worked, right? So, but yeah, it's like, huh? Why is that hitting right now? Oh crap! I could have done something, and then by then the
Yeah,
moment's gone.
exactly.
But I think that was the correct decision, though, right? You were going for a super, and it would have beaten what I was doing. So again, like that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
and
don't
it
think,
was like, if you had killed me there, you know, I don't need this. There's no next round to save the super four. So
yeah,
like, that's kind of my thought process.
yeah. And then you kind of trying to jump through, like waiting for your burnout to be done or get your meter back. You do get your meter back, but unfortunately landed on the fireball that was coming, right? So,
Right.
it's interesting, like looking at this replay, these two replays, right? And it's really hard for me to find like the specific things that you're doing that like that might cause you to be losing games here, right? Most of it again is that there's some maybe I'm spaced a little bit better in neutral, right? Maybe I have a little bit better sense of when you want to move around in neutral. Which is hard to like kind of just be like, oh, stop moving in neutral, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing, right? Maybe you're supposed to be changing up rhythm or whatever. But then if you look at your corner, the corner game here, a lot of it was totally fine, right? You're able to defend most of the mix-ups, right? You take a couple, which is what it is. But for the most part in these two games, like you were able to defend the corner and get out of it pretty well. Since it's still, what time is it? 106. I'll take a look at this replay real quick here. We'll go through it and see what happens in this one. But again, like it's like most of the issues again are just kind of like me landing hits in neutral and then converting off of that, and then one or two decisions in Oki, and that's kind of it, right? So, because I feel like when we looked at those two games, you didn't have me in the corner all that much. And I think part of that is just because you weren't winning as many neutral interactions or having to fight your way out of the corner. So when you did win them, you put me mid-screen. So
Yeah. And
yeah, so like right there, right? There's a lot of like delay button on my part, read the rhythm, and then there's press. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, so safe jump there. Okay. Delay parry. And then I think you get hit. You're trying to check the drive rush, maybe? Press a button. Let's see.
It looks like I was going for...
So there's that. There's a drive rush.
Yeah, I was going for crouch medium.
Yeah. I think that's tough in that situation. Like there's no gap, right? For that to like,
Well,
there's not a large gap.
I probably decided to press it before I even saw the green.
Oh, okay. Might have just been
Like one of those things,
Gotcha. So like you pressed it maybe right before the drive rush came out, and then it was still pressed, or like while it was green, and it just kind of came out.
Yeah, I mean that you can see there was like five or less frames before it turned green.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have even been able to see that or react to it rather.
Yeah.
Like I just pressed at the wrong
pressing
time.
the wrong time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go for the reversal there again. So like I know that round was like you ate like 3 mix-ups there, but like each of those decisions I don't necessarily mind what was going on there, other than like the weird button off the drive rush there. Like reversaling because you felt like reversaling there, I think that's totally fine. Again, it's like there's just like there's an Oki situation coming in that maybe you just guessed wrong, right? I can't say that there's like a habit that I was necessarily exploiting there. It was more like I was rotating my offensive options against what you were doing, and then eventually it lined up to where you went for reversal as I was shimmying right at the end.
Hmm.
So it could just be that you need to rotate, like change the pattern of your defensive option, try something else earlier, like reversal sooner potentially. But again, like I can't say, at least the way what I'm seeing here and the way level I'm playing at, like I can't see like where you were necessarily totally like. There's no habit that I'm exploiting other than some stuff in neutral, right? It's just that I
Hmm.
think with SF6, if you're in the corner, your chances of winning go down, right?
Right.
You have to
Yeah.
guess against, you have to guess against me every time. Can't always be right. Like if you are right, you get some space back and you don't take damage. But if I'm right, you die, right? So it's like that's just the SF6 offensive defensive thing. So I think like really, if I were to try to figure out why or how I was able to beat you here, it's really just like I was winning more neutral interactions, therefore putting you in the corner more for guess situations, right? So
Hmm.
because even if you're guessing correctly, which, and again, you fight out of the corner pretty well those first two games, it's just that eventually you're going to be wrong, right? Or eventually I'm going to be right, however you want to look at that. And
Yeah.
if I have more chances to roll the dice than you do, right, it gets tough to win from those scenarios.
Right.
So good anti there. So it's good. Oh, see challenge there. Yeah, so you can see that I kind of do that, right? Like I was talking about enforcing plus frames here. So like when I land this driver rush on block, I'm +4. And then I
Hmm.
immediately go into a stand heavy punch or stand medium punch here. So in case you're jabbing, or I'm trying to see how you're reacting to those plus frames. So if
Yeah.
you went for a jab or some other option here, it would have stuffed it. Now, if you went for a reversal, obviously it would beat this, but that's pretty risky to do, right? So not everyone will do that. But I'm doing this here so that I'm checking to see if you're going to press or not, right? So if you flip that on what I was doing to you, like this is, I think, what you need to be doing if your opponent is not respecting your plus frames. So you can get a lot of free damage that way, right?
Yeah.
A good with punish there.
Yeah. So like, if I were getting a lot of drive rush jabs converting at closer range, it would be like drive rush jab into medium punch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can even do if you know someone's at the level where they're probably doing delayed jabs, you can even do drive rush jab into heavy punch, which
Mm-hmm.
should catch like a delayed throw tech or delayed jab kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't think see as I look at these, like I'm just like not landing a lot of big conversions. Like if I drive rush in and land, the jab, that's not going to be huge. If I drive rush in and land a medium punch,
Mm-hmm.
I can really get things going, get, a couple thousand damage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like like there I'm landing a medium kick. I'm trying to take the offensive,
Mm-hmm.
and you're blocking. Looks like if I'd gone for a low, I could have gotten something,
Mm-hmm.
but DJ's not getting too much off of his lows.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, because
eh,
I'm walking backwards actually, right when you
right,
drive
yeah.
rush, right? So probably, but like if you look here, so if you look at the replay, what actually happens is I jab you, right? So I kind of just press my button when I can, right?
Hmm.
If you had like I block, wait a little bit, and
Oh,
then
so what I was doing there, the driver's jab into medium kick, I was trying to catch you doing something delayed there,
mm-hmm.
and I delayed, I think, a little too much.
Yeah, I think so. If you had pressed it a little sooner, so you see I'm delay jabbing here, right? If you had pressed a little sooner, probably would have caught that. Also, I think if you had walked up and thrown in this scenario here, it would have caught that too, right? Because delay jab does lose to the
Yeah,
throw, right? Because you can't throw and delay tech, or you can't delay jab, delay tech at the same time, right? So walk and throw
right.
could have worked there too. So I think you had the right idea. It's just the execution may not have been 100% there, and then I get away with a jab here, right? So again, it's like these like and if you look at like how I'm playing offense and how Ken is doing it here. I mean, I know he gets a ton because he lands one hit puts you in the corner, but a lot of the offense that I'm running here is kind of built around generating these plus frame situations and then making you decide what to do, right?
Hmm.
And I think like and I would hope that after you played me, after a couple of games, that your mental stack was feeling a little bit taxed, right? You're feeling a little fatigued from having to make tens of decisions in the last 3 games we played, right? So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of that drive rush jab pressure comes from, is that you start with that stuff because it's relatively safe. You force a decision, and then eventually, if they start guessing wrong, or they start doing a specific habit, like you see them have a habit whenever you see a tendency to exploit, that's when you change up what you're doing, right? Because I played a lot of DJs that play that kind of drive rush like jump scare game, right? And a lot of it is
Mm-hmm.
focused around like that plus frame generation, right? So they're plus, they can press more buttons on you, right? And then as you decide not to press, they press even bigger buttons on you, or they walk up throw, or they change up what they're doing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so that's, I know, and that's a way to play the game. So okay, good jump, no conversion, it's okay. And then I think the same thing again, right? Right.
Yeah, man. So I I need to go in. I need to drill down just the muscle memory on those crouching medium kick conversions. I used to use crouching heavy, or it's sorry, jumping medium kick,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to use jumping heavy kick more. I've been using medium kick because it has great range,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it will catch people if they like go under you somehow. But anyway, I just am not. I should probably be following up with like a crouch heavy punch, which from this range, I could probably get a crouch medium into a combo.
Mm-hmm.
A little further, you can still get a combo.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, here you
but
can see you
anyway,
actually. Does that say plus
plus
11?
11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I didn't confirm that fast enough, I guess.
yeah, you can do anything you want, I think, from
Um,
here. But
I think this is just like one of those situations where I'm like sometimes I do things very intentionally and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drive rush jab and then go for the medium punch, light kick, or I'm gonna jump in heavy punch, crouch heavy punch. But here I was just like, let's jump and see what happens. And then I'm not like prepared when I
yeah,
actually do score the hit. And I think that happens to me a fair amount because I really do like, I'm kind of just like freestyling, like,
yeah,
a lot of the time. So,
yeah. And I'm like, I would say I'm kind of the same way, right? You play a lot based on feel, right? I feel like this is gonna work, or I'm feeling like I need to jump here, or whatever. And I think that's totally
yeah.
valid and fine. It's just that I think like the next step to that, and I don't want to take away anything from like your current playstyle, right? Because if you're playing by feel and you're making those decisions based on what you're feeling or vibing, whatever you want to call it, I think that's totally fine. I just think that you need to have a little bit more of a decision tree mapped out when you press that button, right? So like
Right.
I
Yeah.
jumped, I pressed the button on hit, I'm gonna do X, on block, I'm gonna do Y, that type of thing. Like you're talking about, right? Just drilling some of that down, because I think like for a field based player, especially, the feel comes from like the read on the button to press, and what's gonna happen after is automatic, right? So like if that was me, like if I did that jump kick or whatever, ideally what I'm thinking is if I see it on block, I'm gonna do XYZ. If I see it on hit, I'm gonna do ABC instead, right? Like it's really what it comes down
Hmm.
to. And then that second portion, that's totally automatic, right? Like that's just like bread and butter combo, whatever the case may be, right? So drilled in. So there's like the feel portion is how you land the hit, right? Like, oh, I felt like I'm gonna jump here because Juzzy's gonna drive rush, and then it landed, and you're just like, oh, well, shit, right? It landed. No, now what, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
yeah,
like, and that's kind of what I was talking about when I was talking about dropping combos. And it's really like, I would say especially a problem playing DJ.
hmm,
So like I also play Honda, and
yeah,
like with him, like everything kind of like there's like one combo route and like main combo route, and there's a
hmm,
couple ways to get into it. Whereas with DJ, like everything's very spacing dependent.
yeah,
So like his crouching heavy punch, there's like a number of different follow-ups
hmm,
depending on whether it's like punish counter, counter hit, regular hit. Is it close enough to land a crouch medium kick after?
yeah,
All that kind of stuff plays into it. So it's like I'm not always mentally prepared. Like there, I hit two crouching heavy punches.
hmm,
Either one of those I could have converted into up kicks,
yeah,
but I did it on neither. I was just like, let's press it again.
Yeah, yeah, and it comboed and hit me, right? So
Yeah.
it's like try to press a counter
Yeah,
hit
so that's
here.
counter hit, it combos into itself. But the second one I could have done, you're kind of far, but I could have done it up kicks, I think, and it
Yeah,
would have connected.
probably connect, or even EX up kicks potentially if you wanted to spend there, but you had an opportunity to convert from here, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Okay, so I try to walk up, throw you back up. Weren't ready to whiff punish. That's okay again. You end up getting a hit there. Oh, and then I think the counter hit is just basically on me pressing when you're us pressing around the same time, right?
Yeah. Maybe I figured out your timing.
Yeah, because I got counter hit like 3 times here, right? See,
Hmm.
and then there's the spin, and then that whiffs for some reason. Thanks, Capcom. And then
It was to the left of his head. It
yeah,
didn't actually
yeah,
touch it.
yeah. DJ did a little feint, right? Yeah. And then here, oh, it's the same thing again, right? So the +6 situation, and then he pressed something.
I was going for a sway again, yeah.
Yeah. So. And then just a
Then
delay
I'm in the
crouching mid kick,
corner.
right? Yeah, in the corner now, right? Send it back up. And then a little bit late on the DI there. So I think that DI would have
Yeah,
worked, but a little bit late.
no, it was just a YOLO. Um,
Yeah, because to be fair, I
I
had been poking you a lot with like stand medium kick and crouching and stand heavy kick in the corner. So it is what it is. So, but yeah, I mean, looking
Yeah, I
again
mean
at
that that falls under the category. Sometimes that might work, but
mhm.
more often than not, it won't. But it's like one of those things, like old habits die hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think again, like a DI there, if it was a read on like my button, I think it's okay. But again, you have to consider on defense, like
it was
when to
just
use
like a
it too.
panic. I saw you
Yeah,
moving in. I was low on health,
let me DI
and I
here and
was
hope.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
maybe it'll work.
Yeah, it almost did too, right? Like I had to mash, and it was like the last frame or two where it went through.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking at these replays, really again where you kind of the way I was beating you here was mostly around beating you in neutral, like landing a hit, and then using Ken's busted corner carry to put you in the corner, and then really from there it was just how long can you hold out defending Ken Oki, right? Ken corner
Hmm.
pressure. And then eventually, it's tough because you run out of meter or like, the pressure is being poured on or you guess wrong, right? There's like setups happening. And eventually, if you're in the corner for long enough and you have to deal with too many setups, you're going to guess wrong eventually, right? So that's probably where it was like, because when you were in the corner, the first 2 games, you were able to fight out of it pretty well, right? Like you were able to kind of get out of the corner, press buttons enough to push me back to give yourself some space, right? And able to get out of it. Like you were able to land a hit, like beat me in that neutral situation in the corner, and then put me back to mid screen. So like the problem was that you weren't winning enough of those in mid screen to put me into the corner, right? Like I don't think I was
Hmm.
cornered all that often, at least not in this game or the previous 2 games. But if we look at the game you won, since a little time, I guess. Gotta zoom through this. All right, so get tagged walking, trying to press again, right? Let's see. Oh, you're just walking back. Okay. A good reversal. Let's get driver's throw. I don't think you actually did
Drive
that yet
wash.
at that point, but this was a good sway here.
It's the drive rush micro walk throw.
Yeah,
Very OP.
strong.
Because people think you can't throw,
Yeah,
you're too far, so they try and parry because that'll beat the button.
yeah, and
You
then
just keep
nothing.
going.
Yeah, just walk up and throw. Yeah, because I'm stuck in recovery for the next 20 frames or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So let's see what happens here, right? It's a bit of good read, but a little bit too far.
it's too far. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to play at a space that I'm trying to make you need to come to me, right? So if you drive rush, I could probably check it, and trying to play into that little patiently. So let's see. All right, so it looks like you were walking back there. Okay. So good punish counter there, right? -5 on the stand medium kick. That's a mistake on my part, pressing that too close. So I'm trying not to commit to anything. Right?
Right.
Good knockdown. I see. You actually see I'm still
There we
challenging
go.
you, right?
Yeah.
So, right. Well, I guess I'm -2 here, so, or +2 here, so, but it whiffs. That's unfortunate.
Huh.
So good whiff punish there though, right? With the let's see, the stand heavy kick, right? Is that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get a drive rush conversion off this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say
Oh,
that if
and
there
so
was a
right there, I was thinking to myself, like, I committed to what I was going to do, and then I looked down, and I was like, with a little more foresight, I could have killed there pretty easily.
yeah, I think one
Even
drive rush
even
extension.
without
Yeah.
even without using super, maybe it was close.
Yeah, I think here one drive rush extension probably would
Yeah,
kill me.
yeah, I
So
think so.
yeah, because I have what, maybe 10%, 8% health here, so it's not that much. Okay. And then I lose to the party time, right? So, you know, that game, like the way that went out was that even though I had kind of landed some hits, you're able to fight your way out of the corner, and then you won several neutral interactions, right? Like that's how you're able to beat me there. And at the end, I defended the throw, and then I ended up losing to an aggressive option on my part. But if you look at how you played that game, right, and the way that neutral went for you, like you spent less time in the corner overall, and
Hmm.
you won way more neutral interactions, right? Like I was pressing buttons, and you were able to whiff punish me or you know, stuff what I was doing with counter hits, and you're able to convert those into decent damage, right?
Hmm.
So again, I think like if I had to try to pinpoint how I was beating you here, it's really just the neutral interactions, right? Because again, your corner like decision making and defense is mostly okay. So
Okay.
like you were reversaling here a good amount, right? You were like not respecting my plus frames at all, which was great, honestly. Like I was like kind of getting away with a lot. So you started doing this more, and I wasn't, you know, I was like, oh, I'm getting hit by this now, right? So I have to change up what I'm doing. Swept off your feet. And then again, a reversal again, right? Like I'm not respecting a reversal option all that much, and you're doing it and it's beating me, right? So
Hmm.
like, it was a good adjustment on your part. Unfortunate, but that was good. Ooh. And then that's just counter hit jab confirm on my part, right?
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
I think I went for a crouch. Yeah, that's right, a crouch medium
crouch
punch,
medium
and I was
punch.
just like, didn't recognize it in time.
Yeah.
Look at his lips going. What is he saying?
I don't know. It's funny
You
whenever I
see
do these
that?
replays, they're like talking during this for some
Yeah,
reason. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they do when they do have their voice lines, their lips actually do move, but it looks super funny in like
yeah,
in replay.
it does.
So if you look here, right, like I whiff the throw and I immediately go for a jab, right? Obviously, if you had recognized the throw, he could have whiff punished me. Yeah, he's like going nuts, right? Like, what is this? Crazy.
Get the hell out of my face.
Yeah, right. It's like, what is this elbow? But yeah, like, how do you recognize the throw? You would have gotten a punish counter here. Okay, that's one
Yeah,
part. But then at this space, right, even after the throw, like a medium button is probably too slow for the spacing here, right? Like if you had pressed a jab,
yeah.
probably would have traded like a four framer here. So yeah, it's just the space was too close for a bigger button here, right? That's why I jab actually, like immediately after I whiff the throw, because I'm trying to challenge you pressing something else, right? Because if I don't do anything here and I just continue blocking, it's actually, you know, technically your turn because I whiffed the throw. But I'm trying to challenge whatever you're doing, basically, right? So if I'm gonna do that, you have to do it with a four frame if it's that close, because anything else that I press would have gotten stuffed by your four frame. At least that's what's going on in my head when I press there. So yeah, I mean that's just I think I hit you. There's a couple of times where you might have been too close for a button, so that might just be some work you'll have to do to kind of train yourself to use faster buttons when you're close. But other than that, it's not that's not too much. It's not a huge thing, if you will, right? Like something you just have to adjust
Right.
for. So now you just counter confirm into drive rush because Ken is absurd. He puts you in the corner from a jab, right? Counter a jab,
Hmm.
pass mid screen, puts you in the corner. So we can parry. It's fine, right? We landed perfect parry before. It's good. That was pretty good. What was I going for there? Let's see. So this is the crouch medium kick you tried last time, and it actually came through. Oh, okay, I went for a driver's throw. All right. So that's why I got knocked out. Okay, so I guess that crouch medium kick could work if I go for a throw there. If that was a read or some kind of feel that you had, I don't hate that decision, I suppose. It is tough to check drive rush in that situation, but if you were reading throw, yeah, it's totally fine because it worked out.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was a read on your. I would never press that. I guess you're kind of far. It's possible it was a reaction. I'd have to see it in like real time.
Maybe
No, no, it was not.
it was you're just holding it.
No, I was just. It was like a timing, like a timing thing.
Okay, because I know with drive rush, what can happen is if you press through it or you hold it down, the button will come out immediately after the green flash. So if you were pressing something during or right before, it might have just come out if you're still pressing it or holding it. So that could have been why.
Hmm.
It did work out for you though, right? It knocked me down.
Right. Yeah.
And then you kind of get clipped here as you're trying to press your crouch medium kick, right? Yeah. So again, that's just me reading your rhythm here. I
Yeah.
don't convert to anything.
Oh, that was a huge unforced error.
Yeah. The
I did a heavy
heavy
sabat
sabat, yeah.
instead of medium.
And I honestly wasn't sure what I could do to reach you here. I think stand heavy punch would have been too far. So that's why I just go for sweep because I'm like reasonably certain that'll land versus like a
Yeah.
stand heavy punch, which would have been a bigger conversion. The other reason that would have been tough is because I'd have to do a meterless conversion as well if I wanted to not burn out here, right? Because I'm like a sliver away. And if I
Hmm.
did a stand heavy punch and it landed, I don't think I would be convert that to anything without drive rush, right? It's just too far. So good
Yeah.
for a sweep here, punish counter. I should be labbing the setups here. So if you have punish counter sweep labs setups, you should lab them. Anyway, go for your jump. And then I could have killed you here and I don't. Or do I? Oh, I see what happened. I drop what I'm trying to do, right? So it should have been like super here, and I just drop it, and that sucks. So, probably could get a better punish counter combo there if you want for back throw. I think DJ has some side switch combos through punish counter, right? So
Yeah. So I was one of those people who used punish counter throw forever, and like, it's like, how surprised am I? Um,
yeah.
if like my reflex is just like throw, maybe I'm late.
Hmm.
There, obviously I could have done something much bigger, but anyway.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so like again, and then these ones that you did win, you did capitalize on a couple of mistakes I made, right? And like you were winning more neutral interactions, and like you were keeping me in the corner more, right? So,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, I think there could be some changes on your offense in terms of like setups and other things. Like that setup where you did the overhead there, that was probably meaty, right? And it clipped me, so it killed me.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
that's actually Zane's setup. Uh,
sounds about right. Sounds right. Sounds right. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wish I had a better answer for DJ pressure in the corner. I'm not quite sure how he structures it, but you could probably do with like some. I don't know, maybe use the DJ Discord or maybe ask in the Discord, like NFC Discord or the Fight Rise Discord, if there's any like DJ players that can help you out. I know Double Stack plays DJ, so you could probably ask them. There's a couple other folks I think that do.
well, yeah, I'm on the DJ Discord, and there's not a lot of people there, but everyone that's there is like really
Good.
helpful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So like I think like that might be like if I'm trying to come up with like how from here where do you go, right? Besides like some of the neutral aspects which, take time to get to drill in, like, trying to stand your ground a little bit more. Don't back up as much. Maybe change up your button timing if like your opponent has a read on that. Um, Structuring your corner offense might be the next thing to go, right? Or next thing to do.
Okay.
Right? You did a pretty good job when you did get me in the corner. Like, you were able to mix in like some of the driver stuff, use the plus frames, and like DI'd me a couple of times. But I think with DJ, there's probably better ways, or there are probably more ways to continue that pressure, right? Because there were a couple of times where you did have me like knock me down or corner me or whatever, and I was able to kind of get out.
Right.
So there's probably ways to structure that offense a little bit, maybe a little bit cleaner, if you will, like taking less risk and being able to continue pressure, right? Because DI starts to become a liability, right, when you're higher level, like where you're at right now. Like, yeah, I can't react to it sometimes, but like there are going to be people who can, right? So going for that more often than not is going to be a problem longer term, because people will react to it, right?
Right.
But I'm sure there are ways to continue to get plus frames off setups, and then from there, like, continue your offense, right? Like, continue the pressure. Because again, like, most of the stuff we were doing is totally fine, right? Like, again, most of the stuff that was happening in terms of your corner defense, decision making, that type of thing, I think was mostly okay, right? I can't fault like most of those decisions, right? Other than some of the wake up jab stuff, right? Against some of the meaty setups that might not be what you want to do. But other than that, like, most of the decision making you're making, like when your reversal time, your sense of when to reversal was good. You caught me a bunch of times with that. So
To be honest, I think parrying more
Mhm.
has like helped my, especially in my defense in the corner, because it's no longer like, do I throw tech, do I delay crouch medium kick, or do I reversal? Like, that gives me an option that's like,
Mhm.
if someone's not throwing a lot, it gives me something to do.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I'm not just like reversaling and getting, eating like a 5,000 damage punish or something. So
Yeah. I think that for parry, where it really shines is in like the high-low mixes. So not necessarily safe jumps, although you can do it there. But
yeah.
like high-low mix-ups where, like, against someone like a Kim or like a Rashid maybe, where they're constantly going for a strike high-low and not really throwing, you could try parrying, perfect parrying out of that. Like, that way you don't have to guess. With Ken, I don't think he does a lot of high-low, but parry is still a strong option, right? If I'm going for a lot of meaty timings, parry can be a strong option. It's just tough because Juzzy, the player, tends to throw you a lot, right? Goes for throw a lot, so you have to convince me not to throw you to start parrying, basically,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, I mean, again, like, it really just kind of boiled down to some of the neutral interactions, and then when you were stuck in the corner, when you were cornered, you took more damage than not, if you will, right? Like, if you're stuck there, eventually you're gonna lose, right? It doesn't matter what level you're at. I think for the most part, even a high level player, if you put them in the corner, it's difficult for them to win a lot of the time, right? Like, maybe they'll make a hard play to
Right.
get out of it, but a lot of times when they're defending, they're kind of doing what you're doing, right? They're picking lower risk options, trying to create space for themselves to play neutral, and then win a neutral interaction to get out of the corner. Right? That tends to be how a lot of these higher level players, if you watch that gameplay, that tends to be how they get out of the corner, right? They take low risk options, and maybe they do make a soul read every once in a while, right? Like, you see people reversal or wake up super or whatever, but a lot of time, really, it just comes down to what you were doing, right? Press some buttons to create space, win a neutral interaction if you can, go back to mid screen, right, and then go from there.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can tell you. I wish I could, but like, again, the only real gaps that I'm seeing in this gameplay, as far as what I'm exploiting to win, is just some neutral stuff, right? Like, you weren't really necessarily like super passive on defense or anything, so. But I guess the other thing that I could maybe say, like, I think I mentioned it, was the offensive pressure sequencing. So that's just lab work, right?
Right. Yeah.
So cool, man. Try to think if there's anything else I want to bring up. Let's have to look at the VOD again, I guess. So yeah, do you have time for that first three? You want to try to run it back, see if you can maybe change up that neutral timing and maybe convert a few more?
Yeah. Let's give it a
Or,
try.
okay. No, it's kind of late for you, but hopefully we'll get this.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
All right. Oh, not that. So if you had to pick a main, are you liking Honda a little bit more, or are you just been sticking to DJ?
I was like, let me tell you. So I started Honda and like on like ranked and casuals and even in rooms, I'll like do great with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then I played in the round robin tournament on Friday, and then another one on like online, the Fight Rise, and then before that the newbie Fight Club,
Mm-hmm.
and I won one set between the 2 days, and the one set I won, and this was all Honda, I think, except one set where I played someone twice. I was like, let's mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
But and that person who I did beat was learning classic and leverless at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yeah.
he's anyway, not to get too far into it,
Yeah.
but DJ is kind of like where I hang my hat
Okay.
emotionally.
Okay.
And so but Honda's really fun, and I feel like I'm good with him, but I'm still pretty new to the character.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a feel for how he can handle certain situations, because he has obviously some really strong tools, but he's also got some serious weaknesses also. So
Mm-hmm.
kind
Mm-hmm.
of playing around those.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I was just curious because I know you've been playing him more recently, but I guess if DJ is gonna be your guy, then that's all good too. So, all right, cool, man. Just queue up. We'll run the first three. I guess the only thing I kind of, if I was gonna make an adjustment, like you could try to make right away, is that when you feel like you want to move, like if we're too close to each other and you feel like you want to move, maybe pause for a little bit longer. Try to stay on your ground a little bit more, or press the button sooner, right? So if you were too close, just press the light and see what happens, right? Just be ready to convert,
Okay.
obviously, on a counter hit, but just try that and see if that makes a difference for you neutral. So the mic's hot, just for fun, I guess, and see how this goes.
Okay. I just did it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, caught you backing up a little bit there.
Well, I was trying to go for a walk up throw.
Oh, nice.
Oh, jeez. Wow, I really have that.
Oh no.
Oh, that I should have done an actual punish there.
Aw. Oh, nice.
Ah, I dropped it.
And I dropped it too, but it worked out. You had me though. You had me for sure on that one. But and again, that's just lab work. If you're dropping things, it's like,
Yeah, well, I was looking down to make sure I had the super.
the convert, yeah. Finish it out, yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, too far? That's a tough spot. I'm not sure what DJ can really do there, to be perfectly honest.
No.
You gotta guess, jump something, I guess. Nice. Oh.
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 Oh no. Okay. Man, I messed up the routing. I thought I had a drive rush cancel left. Oh man. But yeah, again, it's really like where I'm kind of getting you is just in those kind of smaller neutral interactions. It puts you in the corner. So and then
Yeah. So
burnout was
I realize what I'm doing is
cool. Nice. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh no.
oh.
Ooh, I jumped. Why'd I jump? At that time it was just I predicted a fireball, but you know. It was the burnout, I think, again on that one. Oh. Nice. Oh.
Oh, I missed my super.
Oh. Oh, nice super. Oh, it
Yeah,
got caught.
so I meant to do level 2, but my finger missed the button, and I hit kick instead of punch.
Oh,
It
that's
was like
all.
on the very. I hit like the rim of the button.
That's annoying. um, but I think that if we look at the way that the rounds went, you did do a little bit better in neutral. I mean, I did tag you a bit because it's hard to break that habit of walking back. But if
Yeah.
you
So
saw the yeah.
I like felt it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't. I gotta get that out of my muscle memory.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the important thing for you right now is that you're now a little bit more aware of it. I think, right? Like you're able to
Yeah.
recognize, oh crap, okay, maybe I don't want to hold back here, or maybe I want to like, pause for a second or do something else, right?
Yeah. And like you can get away with it against a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
well, certainly not against you. Certainly not like as you play higher level people. They're just like,
Yeah,
if you have a good low forward, it's just such a strong
oh,
option.
100%.
So
And even if and like again, high level players will notice that tendency sooner, right? It took me a bit, I
yeah,
think, to start kind of nailing you with it, but as soon as like for a lot of like the higher level players, they'll see that tendency right away, and if you don't change what you're doing, they'll kill you for it, right? So
yeah,
but the important thing is that you're probably a little more aware of it now, right? Like that, if I had
yeah,
to pick a
exactly.
tendency I was exploiting, it was that, right? Like
Yeah.
get an interaction where we're both blocking, delay a little bit, wait for them to get a little bit uncomfortable, either and or change up their timing and when they want to press a button or move, and then just try to tag them while they're doing that, right?
Hmm.
If you're not able to adjust your neutral game to what's happening there, you're gonna get tagged, especially with a character like Ken, right? Like he gets you low forward, you're in the corner, right, for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, man, cool. I wish I had more, but it's like your game otherwise is pretty solid, and I can't really say that there was something in particular on defense that I was really beating you with. It was just strike throw. Let me get like we strike throw mixes. We have to both like I'm guessing, you're guessing, and eventually you may not, run out of guesses, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Anything else before we wrap up? You think?
No, I think this is really helpful. When you also just like going through the replay and like how you kind of break it down, I
Mm-hmm.
think will also help me when I'm looking at my own replays.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I'll watch them, but I watch for like I'm not breaking down like what was this person trying to do here, what was I trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's more just like overall decision making, spacing,
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of things at usually full speed.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think seeing that like kind of breakdown of my own film is kind of cool and helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that people, when they do replay review for themselves, it's really hard to be objective, if you will, because you knew what you're feeling in that moment, right? You're like, oh, I could have went for this or that. Or the other thing that happens a lot is you're like, well, I could have killed if I had done X, Y, Z. And it's like, well, you're kind of chasing the rabbit a little bit, right? Because in an Oki or a guess situation, you could have done something else, I guess. But I kind of make the analogy of it's like if you're playing Texas Hold'em, right, and you fold, but everyone's out of the game, but you want to see the last two cards, right? You want to see the river in the turn.
Yeah.
Turn the river. It doesn't matter, right? Like like seeing it after the fact doesn't change or shouldn't influence your decision making at that point, right?
Hmm.
And I think that like when you do replay review, like kind of the way I do it, where you kind of track and see why you're getting hit and where, the tendencies that are being exploited by your opponent tend to come out, right? Because when they hit you, it's because they did something and you did something and it lined up so that they were able to hit you. So is it
Right.
something you're doing more often? Did it seem kind of random? They got lucky, right? Like if you look through our replays, like we were talking about, you saw that a lot of times I was tagging you is because you're backing up, right? Or the button, like the situation we're talking about. So yeah, man, I hope that was super helpful. It sounds like it sounds like something to work on at least. And again, like offensive sequencing toward the end there, kind of something else to tack on, if you will, if you're looking for where
Yeah.
else I think
Yeah.
you can improve
Exactly.
on. But yeah, man, cool. So I'll do the outro here. You can hang on Discord if you want. I'm just gonna meet you on the stream so I can get through it. But yeah, man. So if there's nothing else you can think of,
All right. Yeah. No, I can't think of anything else.
cool, man. Yeah. So the VOD will be up, and then again, I'm on Discord, so you can always tag me if anything. Cool.
All right.
So yeah,
Cool.
just do the outro. It'll be good. So yeah,
Well,
thanks for
thanks
watching,
very
everybody. Yeah.
much.
Oh yeah. My pleasure for sure.
All right. Take care.
Yep. Have a good one. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody. For those that stick around, I wish I had more to say on that one, but Obi-Wan's got a good DJ, so there was only so much I could do for against that because again, solid DJ. But anyway, this has been Sit Down and Shut Up. Thanks guys for watching. I run this thing through the Fight Rise Discord. So if you're interested in having a session like this, please join the Fight Rise Discord. They also run events, bi-weekly tournaments. They run a round robin tournament through their One Fight Stand series that happens on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday. I think there was one earlier this week, if I'm not mistaken. But you can always join the Discord, check the calendar. They run a rank separated pool, so if you're in the Master League or above, you get into a Swiss tournament, and if you're in the lower levels or lower leagues, they put you in a round robin, so you get 7 rounds and you get to play. They also do community showcases through their Urge to Fight series, so if you want to check those out, feel free to take a look at the Fight Rise FGC Twitch channel. They have the VODs up there. So if you wanted to be part of either of those, please join the Discord. If you want a training session like this, you can join the Discord as well and take a look. There's a channel called Sit Down and Shut Up, and there's cues you can join. If you're looking for coaching in general, there's other coaches available on Fight Rise. There's some good ones, like Satoru is probably in the chat or at least hanging out. If you want to get coaching from them, they're also a really, really strong ed player. So again, you can join the Discord, take a look through all the resources. There's tons to help you get better. I'm also part of the Newbie Fight Club, so they run lobby nights Monday, Wednesday, Friday for newer players or even advanced players to come hang out and chill and get games. They do a tournament every other Friday, I think, whenever Flash decides to run it. And then there's also themed lobby nights. So if you're interested in any of that, again, all the information's in the Discord below. If you want to look at previous training sessions from me, you can take a look at the YouTube channel that's also linked below. They also have the VODs on Twitch, but I know that sometimes it's kind of tough to watch through those, or use the player for that, so it's all good. And yeah, so again, thanks to everyone for watching. Appreciate your comments and your chats, and Halo and Satora, thank you for the subs. Appreciate it. For the follows and everything else, thank you guys so much. Again, I run this through Fight Rise, so join the community. It's a great community. If you want to run sets with me, even just join, hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to play you guys. So thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.